Today's episode, we're going to talk about grief because so many of our listeners and subscribers here are either anticipating the loss of parents or enduring the loss of parents. And I just wanted to have an open conversation of like what that's like navigating the loss of your parents. It's going to be a good one. So grab your coffee and let's get into it.
Grab your coffee. I'm missing mine.
You still have no coffee?
No.
Will you get one soon?
Soon.
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 Yeah, I think, we've talked a lot about grief on this podcast before, but now that it's been some years for you and me since we lost our mothers, and then we both are kind of in that space of maybe some anticipatory grief of our dads.
Yes.
I thought it'd be a good time to kind of just like talk about like what that's like in the long term. You know what I mean? Like how has it changed? How would you say, because how long ago did your mom pass away now?
2014 of October, I believe it was.
And would you say it gets easier? Like what? Share.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm being honest, it does. It's not the sudden pain you first feel when they first go, right? Mm-hmm. The shock of it all, like, this is it. Mm-hmm. My mother's gone. Is this real? Kind of like a shock. You're like in limbo. You can't believe it happened. Mm-hmm. That's gone. I still think about her. I still miss her. I still love her. That'll never go away. But the actual grief part of it, yeah, it's pretty much, for the most part, gone. Unless I was sulking in it, really thinking about it, then I can get really emotional about it, you know.
Yeah.
But
Would you agree that the grief of losing a parent is like a physical pain at first?
Oh, yeah.
It's literal physical pain.
Yeah. Felt like somebody stabbed me in my stomach and pulled a knife out.
Yeah. So you don't have the physical part of that anymore?
No, that's gone.
Yeah.
That's
You know what,
gone.
for me, so my mom died 4 years ago now, and I still sometimes have the physical pain.
Do you?
Yeah, I think what's most difficult when you're dealing with, you have the initial stages of grief when things first happen, and it's kind of like you replay things in your head all the time. It's like anger, sadness, like it comes in waves. So one minute you're fine, and the next minute you're not. And so basically, but those waves come closer together in the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right?
that's true.
But for me, the only difference is the waves are further apart, but they still come. I still replay things in my head all the time. I still relive the whole experience all the time. Like I oftentimes think about those moments when she took her last breath. Like, and it still stings bad.
Well, that's the difference between you and I, is you were with your mother on her last moments.
Mm-hmm.
You saw her take her last breath. Mm-hmm. I didn't see that, so I didn't experience that kind of trauma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe that's more of grief plus trauma.
Yeah, that's hard. You still remember that in your brain. You saw her last. You were there for her last moments. Most of us are never there for our last moments for our parents. They either die in their sleep or in the hospital.
I don't know. I would say, I wonder if that's like 50-50.
This depends.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I think some people, because a lot of people, they die in hospice or whatever.
Yeah.
And
or sometimes you're in the hospital and you have to make a decision if they're on some kind of life support or something.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I have a lot of and the reason I even brought it up is because, I'm a coach, and primarily my clients are midlife women. And it's one of the things that it's a huge impact on your midlife. And it's something that you're going to go through in midlife. And mostly if you were blessed to have your parents in your life and that, saw you through to midlife, not everyone has that blessing. They lose their parents much younger, but if they're alive, you're going to lose them most likely, right?
Oh, for sure.
For yourself, And so it's something that touches so many of like the people that listen to our show. And that's why I just wanted to have like that conversation. I feel one of the fears that I have, and the reason why sometimes I bring on the waves on purpose on myself. I'll look at pictures, I'll listen to videos, I will look at that little candle thing I have of her. I just let myself be in the moment. And the reason I do that is because one of the fears I have is the fading memories. I don't want them to fade. I don't want to lose them.
Yeah. So you keep them fresh in your mind.
Keep them fresh. Like, think about it. Like, you had teachers when you were in like third grade. Do you remember what they looked like and sounded like? Probably not.
No,
So memories fade.
they do. But
So
I don't think it does with our parents. I don't think we never forget.
I think I fear it sometimes too because even like Karma, sometimes I stop and think about her on purpose, even though I know it's going to make me sad, just so that I can. Karma was my dog, just so that I can engrave her memory in my brain because it starts to fade.
Yeah.
I feel like it does start to fade.
I mean, time goes by, years go by, it does fade for sure.
Yeah.
Like, same thing. When I lost Diesel, it was painful. I felt that same feeling, like a knife was in my stomach. Somebody just yanked it out.
Yeah,
and
it's like a physical pain.
I couldn't believe it was a physical pain. I couldn't believe like this is it, the end.
So for me also, I'll be honest, and I talked a lot about it early on. Like I really felt connected to my mom when she passed for a long time. I felt she was around me. I felt I felt like she was with my dad a lot, like when I was there in the house, when I was caretaking for my dad. And I felt her presence in our home. I felt her, I smelled her. Still felt her. And then, for those of you who don't know, we moved and I didn't feel her anymore. I'm like, oh man, she's not here. Not only did I feel like she's not there, I don't feel like anybody's there. Do you feel like, I feel like it's like there's no spiritual energy in our community because it's brand new.
Brand new. Her presence was never there.
It wasn't there. And so I feel like, I think that's why, like, I feel like that disconnection and fear of losing the memory. And so I do things to help bring the memory back,
Yeah.
but I think about what she would tell me, things she used to say. I joke about her all the time.
Crazy thing is she's your mother, but I've smelled her too. I've told you, like, babe, I smell your mom the same.
Yeah. She had a very distinct smell.
Because she's been in your car before, your old car,
Yeah.
the Porsche.
Yeah.
And I swear, and I was like, am I going crazy?
Yeah.
I swear to God, it's a distinct smell.
No, I've smelled her in my car before too. I almost felt like, oh my God, she's in the car with me. And in my car is always when I felt the most close to her. Like I would play a song or a song would come on that she loved.
Yeah.
I
One
remember,
did.
Yes, She's Like the Wind from Patrick Swayze from Dirty Dancing. And it was on the day that I decided to finally go see my dad. And it was undeniable to me. I had, my dad and I had what is it called? No contact for a year. And I finally decided to just try to mend that relationship. And the first day I went, right before I was sitting in the car, so I was like trying to bring up the nerve to go inside this house. And that song came on. I was like, oh my God, my mom she's part of this. Like she's here. And I do sense her there. It's weird because I feel like she's like kind of, maybe she's helping him or I don't know. But I feel like her presence when I visit him in that care home. But anyways, I hadn't felt a sign from her. And I don't know, you guys, but I'm going to share this story. I don't know what it is, but so I have a friend of mine named Natalie. She lost her dad about a year before I lost my mom, or a year after. I can't remember, but they were about a year apart. But anyway, she was texting me saying, hey, I hadn't had a sign from my dad in a while. And I had a sign from him and it made me feel so much better because it had been a long time. And she said, how about you and your mom? And I said, nothing at all. Like it's blank, like no connection, no spirit. I don't feel any connection to her here. It's so sad. And I said, she's probably mad because I moved. Like, why did you move? She obviously she's always bad with directions. So she's probably like, I don't know where you are. I can't get to you. And we joked about it that day. And that night, our power went out and it went right back on. The whole house.
Yeah.
The power shut down and it went right back on. It was so weird. And then did it happen again in the same night? Twice in the same night, I think.
I think twice.
And
in the middle of the night, it went out.
In the middle of the night.
And the light clicked on.
Yeah.
That was weird. Our bedroom light just turned on.
Yeah. It was weird things were happening with our power. And it's so much so that because it was weird the way it happened, so much so that we called the electric company because, of course, I went to ChatGPT or whatever and it said, like, you need to look into that. Could be dangerous, like short circuit. We went down to the garage. Nothing was wrong with the circuit box. Nothing was tripped. It didn't trip the circuit, nothing like that. So then the next day, it happened again. again at night. And it was like I said, we had this conversation, happened that night, and then it happened again the next night. The electrician came out, by the way, and they said nothing's wrong. I mean, not the electrician, the energy company. They
he
said
checked everything.
nothing is wrong. I don't know what happened, fluke, whatever. But then it happened again the next day, and I'm not thinking anything at this point. I didn't think that, oh, it's my mom or whatever. But it happened again the next day, and then we had an electrician come out. Electrician said, absolutely nothing's wrong. I can't explain it, can't tell you why. Nothing's wrong. No, your breakers are good, nothing tripped, whatever. And then in our bedroom, the light just came on and then off, right? It was just
came on.
funky.
I had to turn it off.
Yeah. In the middle of the night.
Yeah.
It popped on. Very weird.
In the guest bedroom,
the power never went out. So it didn't go out in the entire house, almost the entire house, except for the guest bedroom. Stayed on. Very strange thing. And after the second, I think someone else, we contacted our builder, and they're like, look, we talked to the electrician, there's nothing wrong. Like, there's not an issue. So I turned to you and I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of thinking paranormal. And you're like, I was going to say the same thing. Right?
My wheels started turning like, who was on this land before us? Because that part of California is very old.
Yeah.
And I'll get a little off topic here, but we live not too far from San Juan, Capistrano. And it's a very unique town.
It's the oldest town in California.
Yes, it's the oldest town in California. And there's actually a building there where the law office sits. I did a little history, it said. It's very haunted.
Oh, it really?
Yeah.
So I didn't know that. You looked it up?
I came across somewhere and it told a little bit of history about it and the little town and whatnot. Because I always think about like those days, what were they like? How were people treated? Were they mistreated? Were they tortured? It was crazy, lawlessness back then. I just think like, what was the people like here before us? Because obviously, a lot of people knows a lot of American Indians here. This was their territory, this was their land. So you just don't know, So I just started thinking like crazy things in my head.
It's funny though, because you started thinking paranormal, then I thought, and then I'm like, then when we had that conversation, I was, you know what? I'm going to go back and look at the date that I had that conversation with Natalie, but it was the same day. And I look and it was the same day. I still have it, the text combo.
It just, nothing makes sense. It hasn't happened since.
No.
I'm glad it hasn't happened because we were both worried. Like, is there like, did they miss something?
Wrong with the power,
and I'm on a neighborhood app with my neighbors. I'm on the same text thread.
It's a group
chat. Yes. And I asked all of them, is your power ever went out? Are you guys good? Anybody else? Nope. Like, it doesn't make no damn sense.
It's so weird. It's so weird. It makes no sense. And so then could it have been a sign from my mom? I was joking, saying she didn't know how to find me and this and that. And then that happened. It is ironic. I don't know. I can't tell you, but I did feel like, wow. And it was right around the same time I decided to put batteries in her. I have this little candle that goes on every day, an electric candle that goes on every day at 5 o'clock. And well, after I had the conversation with Natalie, I put batteries in the candle because I'm like, you know what? I need to bring her presents here back. Yeah. And it was all the same few days. All the same few days. I put batteries in the candle so it goes on and off every day automatically. And when the power went out, the only thing that's still lit is the candle that's battery operated. And it's her candle. It's a picture of her. It's actually the picture that I have on my arm in a candle. And that's ironic too. That's a weird connection too. It's the only thing left illuminated when the power went out.
And some things are just unexplained when it comes to paranormal.
And you can't.
And we don't, because we can't understand it and it's beyond our understanding, sometimes we don't want to accept it. Mm-hmm. And we don't know what that other realm is like.
Right.
We don't have any proof, any clue. But, what do they say? Your body dies, but energy lives on.
I mean, this is just a capsule. Interesting. But it was just it just made me think about like the grief and all of that. But on another point, when it comes to grief, I think I try to do this anticipatory grief kind of thing to prepare myself, and I'm kind of like going through that with my dad too, because he's, declining. Do you do that at all with your dad? Like, do you try to think about do you try to prepare yourself a little bit?
Yeah, I do. I'll be honest, because he's getting up there. Yeah. He's getting old.
Your dad's a hard 75 or whatever he is.
He's a little older than 75. Oh. He's about 77 now.
Oh.
But he's a rough. Strokes in his late 50s.
Yeah.
Like, he's never been the same after that. That kind of derailed him. So lucky he's even lived this long. It's been about, damn near 20 years since he got hit with his first stroke. Most people, stroke survivors, will have them years down the line. But yeah, I do. I try to think about like what it's going to be like when that time comes. Obviously, I don't live near him anymore, so I don't get to see him that often. But I'm always calling my sisters, checking up on him, whatnot. But yeah, I try to prepare myself because, I know that day's going to come. It's inevitable. I don't want to start breaking down now and grieving now, but it's inevitable for all of us. We kind of know where our parents stand as far as health goes.
What's interesting about like anticipatory grief, I don't think it's a good practice. I don't. Because I feel like people will then bring upon stress and sadness on themselves sooner than they need to.
Yeah, prematurely.
Maybe they are attaching an age that they think their parents will live to, and then once they hit that age, they think it's going to happen any moment. What if they live another 10 freaking years?
That's funny is my brother, I remember I'd asked my father, like, after my mother died, like, if he's ready to go with her. He's like, no, I want to keep living.
Yeah,
It's been what, 2014? What we had? It's going on, what, 12 years since she passed? This year will be 12 years.
And that was, I think that's the difference between... I think it gives you time when you have that mindset.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and I want to make sure that I remember that because you don't want to don't try to attach yourself to an age that you think you're going to die. I think a lot of times people will attach themselves to the age that their parent died. You know what I mean? Because I remember my mom was deathly afraid of turning 59. She was like, oh, here we go, because my grandmother died at 59.
That's right.
And my mom... she grieved my grandmother for a long time. Like, that was so hard on her. And I feel very similar with me. Like, it was hard on me, harder than I thought it was going to be. I feel like I have two lives. I have my life before my mom died and then after my mom died. It's like BM, and PM. Before mom, post mom.
Wow.
I do. I feel different. Like, it changed me on a cellular level.
Yeah.
I feel, because I think, part of you kind of dies with them a little bit because they say.
Part of you, yeah. I felt that too. Your mom still carries some of your cells, like, penetrate the blood-brain barrier of the mother, and they live there. So, like, part of you does die when they die. Well, I always said this, and I know this probably triggers a lot of men, but I stand on how I feel, stand on business. Mothers are special. Mothers are special more than fathers because they're the ones who house us. They're the ones who create us. We're made inside of them.
Yeah.
We're not made inside the father. The father's the donor. Let's just be honest. Call it what it is. But the mother's the one that's actually feeding you. Her machine in there is taking care of you.
It's crazy.
It's doing what it's supposed to. It's a process. If you think about it, you have 2 children. Your body did what it's supposed to.
Yeah.
To house them, feed them, make sure they're getting the proper oxygen, make sure they don't die inside you. It's a crazy process that we don't stop and think about that because it happens so much and it's been going throughout mankind. But the process of what a mother is birthing a children, having children is different. It's a different connection, like you said. It's a different connection with mothers.
I think so. I mean, some people may be closer to their dad or whatever, but I just think there's a cellular connection, like a soul tie too, because it's like you were inside of them. I read a story. It was interesting.
Well, you ever heard about this? Sorry to cut you off, and I know you've heard about this. How many times mothers have gone on interviews or talked on shows talking about they wake up in the middle of the night and they knew something happened to their child. Yeah. They knew something happened, and it came true. Yeah. Something woke them up.
And speaking on that, because there's been some studies that show that they actually do carry, like, them in their brain. They have found, like, male DNA in the brains of women who have had sons. And so they literally have like the cells of their son in their brain. So there's a connection. There's no other explanation for it because they wouldn't have, and it's only in, like, they'll do, like, I don't know, studies on autopsies or dead people or whatever, where they find male DNA, I think it was, in the brain that penetrated the blood-brain barrier of the women, and only in women who have had boys. So it's part of their son. They also, because that's how they differentiate it, right? They wouldn't be able to differentiate the daughter's DNA because the woman is a female. But there would be no reason for her to have a male DNA in her unless she's had a boy. And that means that they do carry the DNA of their offspring lifelong. And that's why there's that connection. That's why it's got to be for a reason. If you think about it, it's like so that like in the wild, they'll be able to locate their cubs, and I don't know, there's some sort of connection. There's a reason.
For sure.
There's a reason. There's that tie, right?
Yeah. And it's things that's kind of out of our control that we can't explain. Mm-hmm. That are just beyond us.
Yeah.
I mean, we have an idea, but it's like you don't realize, like, even though you're not right in front of your child, you can still feel them sometimes. Like they're not in the best place. 100%. Something's going on.
100%. It kind of like.
We don't feel that as men. I know fathers don't have that.
I don't think so. I think it's different. I have like this internal reaction, and that I can't explain, that I'm always feeling things. It just drives me crazy sometimes, to be honest. But so I feel that, I don't know, I feel that there's that connection. That's why I truly feel like a part of me went with her.
Yeah.
And it was whatever she was carrying inside of. Oh, the thing I was going to explain, not that the cells, but also the eggs. So like I lived inside my mom long before the egg that became me was already in her when she was inside of my grandmother. So my egg was already inside of my grandmother, because you're born with the number of eggs you're going to have in your lifetime. Is that interesting?
What is that number? Yeah.
No, it's different for everybody. Some people are more fertile than others. Some people have more than others.
Oh.
Some people, yeah.
Same thing as men. Some have lower and higher sperm
Yeah,
power.
but men create sperm constantly.
New
Women,
sperm.
right.
I got you.
Women have
The eggs.
their eggs when they're in utero. Before they're born, they have the number of eggs they're going to have. So that means the egg that became me was inside of my mom's little tiny ovary when she was a fetus inside of my grandmother.
Insane. How the hell did they discover that?
That's why there's like these connections. There's these generational like connections. I was very connected to my grandmother too. My maternal grandmother.
Yeah.
On the mom's side. It's different. There's a different connection.
Oh, I see what you're saying versus your father.
Yeah, because I was not,
right.
My dad didn't, the sperm that created me wasn't inside of my dad when he was inside of his mother.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
You see what
there's
a
difference.
Different connection.
Okay.
It is different. It is different. And you know what kills me about all this stuff is that people will say, like about paranormal and signs from, your loved one that passed on, people will say, that's impossible. It doesn't make sense. Because they can't make sense of it, they think it's not possible. But when you want to think that way about something, think about there's so many things that don't make sense, but they're possible, right? How is it possible that I'm not a doctor or a scientist or whatever, but somehow my body inside of me created a brain and vessels and ventricles and a heart and organs, and that's not possible.
Right.
It's not possible to do. How did that happen? Nobody sent anyone in there to do that. It just happened on its own.
Yes.
Can't explain that, but we accept it because we see it with our own eyes. Why can't we accept things that there's many other things in this world that seem impossible, but they just are, it is true. You know what I mean? Why do we have these blockers? That's why I think anything's possible.
I mean, life here is think about life, just life in general. Think about just us being on this earth. Everything had to be in perfect alignment for us to survive in this earth.
Yeah.
There had to be oxygen in the air.
Yeah.
There has to be an ozone layer.
But what does that?
The sun cannot be too close to us or we'll cook. It'll roast us. It has to be X amount. It can never get too close.
Right.
We have to have a moon. It's a lot of stuff does not make sense. Mm-hmm. That is beyond our control. Mm-hmm. Some powers that be, something created this. It just couldn't have come out of thin air. It's just too much. We're too intricate.
Right.
Animals are too intricate. Just life, everything.
Yeah, everything.
Just organisms. Everything's alive.
So like when people will say something like, the connection, and there's some sort of like, I feel connected to my mom, whatever. So that's not possible. But it's like, yeah, it is. Anything is. Yes, it is.
Man, my mother knew when I was being a knucklehead, getting in trouble. She always sensed things about me. She always knew. I used to be like, she's like a witch. How does this lady know? She knew I was up to no good. She knew when I was selling drugs and I don't know, she just knew. She just knew I was up to no good.
She had that
She
connection.
was finding things and like, damn, how does this lady know?
I know.
It pissed me off.
Let's take a little break and we'll be right back. I want to speak directly to the woman who is tired of doing this alone. If you are over 40 and you feel like your body has changed, your metabolism feels slower, your hormones are unpredictable, and you have tried program after program with short-term results, Esco Elite one-on-one coaching is for you. This is not another challenge. This is not a cookie-cutter meal plan. Inside Esco Elite, you work directly with me. We build your calories correctly. We structure your macros. We program progressive overload training. We troubleshoot your hormones, digestion, stress, and lifestyle. This is high-touch, hands-on coaching designed specifically for midlife women who are serious about changing their body and keeping it. If you are ready for real structure, real accountability, and real results, book a consultation call at the QR code on the screen. Let's stop guessing and start building your strongest midlife body. All right, you guys, we are back, and we're going to get back into that conversation. I did want to share a comment that was left on one of our recent podcasts, just because we've been talking. I'm actually approaching my 1,000 days sober, by the way.
Oh.
And so I've been sharing some stuff on social media about that. And Kathy Esposito, 5313, left a comment on that episode. We were talking about it. And she says, I never wanted to hear stop drinking alcohol. I would ignore it every time. But fortunately, something clicked a few years ago, and it makes a huge difference. I wish I would have listened earlier, too. So many people are going alcohol-free now.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Many, many people.
we were at a party recently. You know, we're around somebody who was in the wine industry, and how we supposed to know? We didn't know this, but he said, like, Napa's suffering, all these wineries and whatnot are suffering because the wine sales are down bad. Alcohol in general is down bad.
Alcohol is down bad. He also mentioned that there was a beer company. I can't remember which company, but their sales for the first time in history of their non-alcoholic exceeded their alcoholic. That doesn't even seem possible.
No, not even.
But I mean,
no.
he was like the marketing director for spirits company. So
I mean, people are waking up, man.
I know. It's crazy. That is.
Times are changing.
You know what's interesting is it'll be interesting when we go to One Up Nutrition. We're going to go to Miami with One Up Nutrition again this year, you guys. And it's going to be interesting to see if less people, again, are drinking alcohol.
Right.
Because each year has declined. This will be our third year going with them.
Yeah, you're right.
That'll be so interesting. We'll have to let you guys know. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one.
See ya.